All right, what's going on, guys? Brand new season. A lot of great games to open the 2025-2026 NFL season. I just love saying that, man. I'm so glad football's back. You saw my preseason top five came out last week. Obviously, some changes now that the games have been played. And you'll notice I'm wearing a Commanders hat. Yeah, I do love the Commanders. I am still a Browns fan, even though it's a miserable existence, and we can thoroughly outplay the Cincinnati Bengals, triple their yards, double their first downs, and not kick a field goal. You know, life as a Browns fan. So, wouldn't wish it on anybody, but it's fun. We love it. All right, number five. That's going to be the Los Angeles Chargers. I was thoroughly impressed across the board with their performance. I've been very high on Justin Herbert. A lot of you guys have killed me on that, but you're going to come back to eat your words. He's a phenomenal talent. Harbaugh is one of my favorite coaches. One of the few people I've been able to see do it in college and professionally. He's moved back and forth fluidly with no issues. He's a player's coach, and everybody and their grandmother thought he was going to come out and run the ball. You know, that's been his MO, establish the run, then come out and start passing the ball. But no, he came firing out of the gate. Justin Herbert was just bombing it across the field. I mean, I think he had 318, 350, one of those two. Let's call it 320. 320 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, he looked fantastic. He's the exact quarterback I think he's going to be. And Harbaugh's the perfect coach for him. I think the Chargers could do a lot of great things this year. And they got over a huge mental hump of beating the Kansas City Chiefs, something that I don't believe have done yet in Justin Herbert's tenure. They had some good matchups early on, and then the last couple of years they've just kicked the crap out of them. So, number four, it's the only team in here with a loss, week one, but I'm very bullish on them as an organization. It's the Baltimore Ravens. They lost in heartbreaking fashion. I mean, they consistently do that. You know, I posted a graphic. They've got the most double-digit blown lead since '91 by a considerable margin. I think it's 17 of them. No lead safe. Lewin knows that better than anybody. When I took him to the Dolphins-Ravens game, which was, God, like probably 3 years ago now, but I got to hit the waddle on him, which was great. One of my favorite videos to go back and watch when I'm sad or feeling down. But yeah, look, they lost, but they lost to a masterclass performance by Josh Allen. It's still a very good team. Lamar played incredibly. He had 7 rushing touchdowns, 3 total touchdown contributions, 200 in the air. He didn't close late, which has been my biggest critique of him. You know, I've seen it for years, just being an AFC North guy. I go to a lot of Ravens games. I watch the Ravens on TV all the time. He struggles late for as good as he is. Something he's going to need to clean up if he wants to take it to the next level. I'd be remiss not to mention Derrick Henry. Yes, he fumbled late. It sucks. It happens, but he still had, gosh, I think it was 173 all-purpose yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, he is defying physics, everything we know about aging running backs. At 31, he looks better than ever. Unbelievable to me still that we let the Baltimore Ravens get him, but yeah, it's the best quarterback running back duo in the league, and they're going to be fine. You know, the question's going to be in the playoffs, can they get over the hump? You know, I'm sure Patrick's going to be there, even though the Chiefs are struggling a bit. But Josh Allen's absolutely going to be there. And that's going to be, in my opinion, their biggest test. You know, they get picked for the Super Bowl every year, but they never get there. So, as great as Lamar is, as many MVPs as he's won, and he may win a few more, rings are going to matter. So we'll see what they do the rest of the season. Number 3, my most impressive performance of the week, probably the Green Bay Packers. They decimated the Lions. I mean, the Lions looked like a JV team. You know, I mean, I know that they don't have Ben Johnson anymore, but defensively, I mean, they just owned them. It wasn't even a competition. You know, I mean, And now they've added Micah Parsons. And, Micah got his one sack. I mean, he wasn't a substantial factor. I think he will continue to be throughout the season. But, they lost Jair Alexander, a top corner, and didn't seem to really miss a beat. And Jordan Love looks like he's getting better every single year. I mean, Jaden Reed put up a phenomenal performance. Josh Jacobs still has it. One of my most underrated players in the NFL, frankly. I thought he got cast to the side way too early by the Raiders. Green Bay is a dangerous team. My week one overreaction is that they're going to run away with the division. I don't think the Lions are going to compete. I think they'll be a good team, but I think they'll probably lose the division by a couple of games. I'm not worried about the other two teams. I mean, J.J. McCarthy did look good, Berger. You called that. I mean, he looked like crap for 3 quarters, but boy, did he close when it mattered. I think they'll have an okay season. The Bears I'm not worried about. I don't think Caleb's that guy. I've been vocal about that. Number 2, this is where it gets tricky. Paul's not going to like this because they're not number 1 anymore. And they won their game. I don't like knocking down a number 1 when they won their game. The problem is the number 1 is going to come up here in a second. And you can probably guess who it is at this point, but they played so well they deserved it, and they beat a better team. So anyways, number 2 is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles. My preseason Super Bowl pick, I'm still standing on that. They have the best GM in sports. I'll say it. Howie Roseman's better. I know I was saying Adam Peters. Adam Peters is great, but I'll give it to Howie. That guy knows how to run a franchise. He knows how to fleece people. You just got Tank Bigsby for a box of scraps. He does business a different way. He finds great value in the draft. They're solid top to bottom. The secondary is unbelievable. The linebacking core only got better in the draft. The defensive line, second only, and yeah, I'm biased when I say this, but there's data to back it up, second only to Cleveland, in my opinion. Offensive line's great. Receiving corps, even though A.J. Brown didn't get the ball at all. They still got him and Devontae Smith. Goddard looked good. They got the best running back in sports with Saquon. And Jalen Hurts is a brilliant game manager. He's not a game breaker. He had 150 yards passing and no touchdowns, but they won. He had an 82.6% accuracy percentage in terms of, wait a minute, I said that weirdly, 82.6% completion percentage. He did what they needed him to do, and he did it well. You can win a lot of football games that way. You can win championships that way. They proved it. So they're going to be a force. Number 1 is the Buffalo Bills. Man, I was blown away. Maybe the best football game I've ever seen. And part of that's probably recency bias. Patrick Mahomes, Texas Tech versus Baker's Oklahoma comes to mind. When Patrick, I think, threw for 750 yards. Baker, damn near 600, and score was like 73-62. That's in the conversation. Jared Goff and the Rams versus Patrick Mahomes. And the Chiefs, I don't know how many years ago that was now. I think it was maybe 3 or 4, maybe even 5. Monday Night Football game was 55-51. But, yeah, oh, man. Game of the year, week 1 of the season. I mean, how lucky are we? That game was sensational. Josh Allen, I've given him a lot of critique over the years, and a lot of it deservedly so. I mean, as a rookie, he had a weird motion. We knew he had a cannon, but his decision-making was questionable, to say the least. I mean, I've said for years that there are 2 or 3 times a game Josh Allen's going to do something where you're like, what in the world was he thinking? He's got all the talent in the world, and you can play perfect 98% of the game. But if you really, really mess up that last 2%, you're not going to win, and you're definitely not going to win the big games late in the season when they matter in January and February. But last year, Allen cut down on the turnovers, won his MVP, and this year this game, he ascended to a whole new level. I mean, he was gliding on the grass. He got whatever he wanted. I'm dumbfounded that the Ravens decided to punt that ball. He's going to go down there and score. It's not a question. That was a concession to me. 4th and 3, you got to go for it. You got Lamar and Derrick Henry to get 3 yards to win the game. You got to take that bet. You cannot punt to Josh Allen when he's in that Super Saiyan state. I mean, it was unbelievable. It was like a more accurate Brett Favre that could move. Just everything was on a rope. I'm blown away by Josh Allen and the Bills in that win. And you know, I'm never counting Kansas City out, but obviously they've got some holes to plug. This could be the year. I think Buffalo versus Philadelphia is a really strong shot for the Super Bowl. So that's my week 1 recap. Looking forward to doing a couple more of these, enjoying the season with you boys. Catch you next time. Bye.